In this video, we'll be continuing the annotations, the Spring Boot annotations, and today we'll start from many to one. So the annotation many to one. So the annotation many to one is a GPA annotation that is used to establish a many to one relationship between two entities in a relational database. So relational database are like MySQL, Postgre, SQL. Those are relational database. You might have heard of Firebase database. Those ones are what they call unrelational database. But for now, I will just be talking on relational database using MySQL, and many to one is the GPA annotation for that. So in this example, I'll be showing you an example of where to use many to one annotation. So in the example below, the post entity has a many to one relationship with the user entity. This means that many posts can be created by one user. So I'll show you an example here. So this is a post class, and then down here you will see the many to one annotation being used on this field. So this field is a user entity. So what's happening here is that we are saying that we want to draw out the relationship between post and the user entity. So we are saying that we want that one user should be able to create multiple posts, and the multiple posts can be created by one user. So it's the same thing, just inversely. So at many to one, yes, signifies that we're saying many posts, that's many posts here, can be created by one user here, So that's what the many to one is stating. And every time you see a many to one, you will always see a join column annotation with it. So we are saying that you are linking many posts to one user. So there must be a column that you are going to be linking. That's going to show the linkage of the linkage between the post and the user. So we are saying here that they are join column, join user ID. So you name the name is you give a name user ID. So user ID now you are saying that I want to join user into the post, so that when a user creates a post, I want to know this user ID will hold the ID of that user that created the post. So that's what it's saying here. So you are joining the foreign key. So the foreign key of the user ID, you are bringing it into the post database here. So if you look into my MySQL here, under the posts table, you will see that at the end here you can see a user ID. So this user ID is the name which we gave for our join column annotation. So it shows the user that created this post. So user ID 1 created this post of description, beautiful jewelry's description. So you can see here that this user ID takes the whole property or the whole class of user. You can actually deduct the user name and user identity from this user ID that is here. So it's as if you are bringing a whole table into another table. That's what the foreign key does. You are able to link another entity into another entity using the many to one. So this user ID 1 now, if you come into the users table here, you will see the user ID 1 here showing that is an admin as the first name and last name, having a row admin. So you can actually say here that the admin is the one that created this post of this post with post ID 2. Yeah. So in the project I'm actually working on, I'm only the admin, or only a user that has a role admin that can actually post or can actually make a post. So you can see, that's why you can see different 111 ID here. So it's actually just linking the user, the admin here as the author of this post. So of this post here. So that's what the main to one does. So here you see that name, post, user ID. So now please don't mistake this user ID that is here is just the name which you give to the column that joins the post to the user. Yeah, you can see that at this point is the user ID is only saved as ID. So you are actually the one that's giving this name, user ID, in this join column, name equals to user ID. So if you change this name to maybe something like username, we've changed it to something like username, this name will be actually what will be in this place here, username. But you will still be getting and 111, you still be getting long here as the ID of 1, because when a foreign key joins one entity to another entity, it joins it with the ID of that entity. So you might name it user ID so that it will be you understand it will be easier for you. But if you name it with another name, it will still be it will show that name, but it will still be linking with the ID or the primary key of the other entity. So that what the primary key here is this ID. So you will notice here that for the user's ID, the primary key is the ID. So when you do a many to one with a join column, it takes that user ID and joins it to this post database, this post table here, and then you are using a user ID name to identify the user in this post database. So that's what a many to one does. So you will notice a nullable. So nullable here false. We are saying that we don't want a null value in this table here, in this column. So we don't want a null value in this column. We want something to be, we want an ID to always be there. So that's why we use a nullable of false. So going to the next one, we have so join column. Join column annotation is a JPA annotation used to specify the details of the column that will be used to join an entity, association, or relationship. So just as what we have said, the join column is used to show the details of the column. So, and the details of the column we want is the user. So it shows the details of user that will be used to join an entity. So it shows the details of user in a post database. That's what the join column does. So this annotation is commonly used in conjunction with many to one and then at one to one annotations to define the columns used in the database to represent the relationship between those two entities. So the join column annotation is used like this. So these are the different attributes that you can get from in the @ join column. So there is the name which indicates that the foreign key column in the current entities table is named user ID. So you can see the foreign key. So the foreign key column in the current entities table is named user ID. So the foreign key column in the current entity table is the post. So just like you see here. So this is the post database, and then you can see the foreign key. So user ID in this table is a foreign key. That's what it means. It's a foreign key. So it shows the it shows the details of this foreign key in this post database. That's what it's saying there. So nullable shows that it cannot contain null value. So the default nullable value is true. You can set it to false to show that you are not collecting null values. Then the next one is at one to many. So at one to many is the inverse of the many to one. So at many to one shows that many posts can be created by one user. Then the at one to many, the annotation one to many shows that one post here to many comments. So that means one post can hold many comments, and that's true of a blog post. A post can have many users posting, commenting on that post. So you can say a post has many comments. So that's the relationship between the post and comments is identified with the at one to many. So that's what it is here. So that's the relationship here. Then going back here, this annotation is typically used in conjunction with the at many to one annotation on the target side of the relationship. So let me show you something here. So this one here, at many to one, the inverse one to many is shown at the target entity. So this is the target entity. So when I get to user, if I get to user class, you'll see that there will be a at one to many for the post. So let me show you here. One. So you can see it here for the post. Yeah. Under the user class, there will be a one to many. So anytime you have the at many to one in a for a field in the entity, in the target entity, which is the inverse of that one, you will see you must put a one to many to show that relationship that one user can create many posts. That is it here. And then in the inverse, many posts can be created by one user. So you have to show that entity, that relationship, that entity relationship. Yeah. So one to many, that's it here. Then the one to many annotation is placed on a collection type field or property in the owning entity. So what it means here is that it's placed on a collection type field. So now you have at one to many. So one user can create many posts. So the many in this case will have to be a collection type field. So you will see something like list of posts or set of posts. So it has to be in the collection type field here. So something like this that can show many. So if you are saying many posts can be a list of posts. So that's why it's stated like this. If you come here and put just posts like this, I think you will get an error. Okay, no error. Okay, yes, see, there's the error I'm talking about. So you will get an error, and then it will use what is the error here. One to many attributes should be a container. So it should be a container. So a container is a collection. So a collection can be a list, it can be a set, it can be any of the other collections like a map and all. But we're going to just use a list here. So the error is gone. So that's how a one to many works. For a many to one, you don't need a container because it's just one item. So one item, you just need to put the class there. That's entity there. But for the one to many, you need a collection. So a collection of that entity. In this case, is post. So a list of posts That's how you are going to identify a one-to-many annotation here. So this setup implies that one post can have multiple comments on the post. So one-to-many mapped by post. So every one-to-many annotation is always mapped by the post. It's always mapped by the parent entity. So let me show you an example here. So one-to-many mapped by the parent entity here, which is the user. You can see it up here, user. The comments one-to-many because I also have another annotation one-to-many for the comments. So I'm saying here that one user can create many posts, and also one user can create many comments. So that's what is here. So and it's mapped by always all one-to-many annotation. You must have the mapped by. So this mapped by, you map by the parent entity. That is this one here. This is the parent entity, and this is what they call the child entity, and this is the parent entity. So you map by the parent entity. Also, let me show you another one here in post. Another one-to-many here. You can see that it's mapped by the parent entity, which is post. Post, where is it? So this is it here. Post. Okay, let me look for one more. Another one-to-many. Okay, I think that's all the one-to-many I have here. So one-to-many always have the mapped by. You can see that there is no join colon like the many-to-one, because you're not joining anything here. You're only mapping by the parent entity here to show that relationship between the post and comment. So one post to many comments. That's what it's in here. One post to many comments. And in this case, this one, you won't see this one in the database. So you're not actually, it's not like the join column that joins the this thing into the database here. So let me change this ID. Okay, so the join column actually adds this user ID as a column inside the post database. But in this case, the one-to-many does not add any column. So even if you go to the post, you won't see, let me see. If you go to the post, so this is the post, you won't see any column as comments, because you didn't use there's no join column at this place, so you wouldn't see any column with a comment name or anything like that here. So that's how that one works. So this is how this one works. There's no @join column, because there's no @join column. You won't. It's actually not adding post as a column into this post class here in database. So one-to-many goes with mapped by. Many-to-one goes with join column. Okay, so let's go. The next one is many-to-many. So there is another annotation called many-to-many used in the JPA, using Java Persistence API. So this is used to define a many-to-many relationship between two entities. So when there is an entity is going when an entity is mapped by many entities too, when many entity is mapped by another many entities, so you use many-to-many annotation. So let me show you an example here too. Under the posts, so you see one here. Okay, so we are actually trying to link the users that liked a particular post. So we are saying that many posts can be liked by many users. So many posts can be liked by many users. So that's what this one is here. So you can actually be user liked by here, instead of just liked by. So many to many. Remember when I said many? When you have many on this other side, it means that the the entity here is going to be, that is the user here, is going to be in a container form or in a collection form. So we can use the list, we can also use the set here. But why we use set here is because we are actually saying that we want that the user that will be inside this collection to be unique. So that's why you are using a set. So a set shows that every element inside that set is unique. And we actually used it because of what we wanted to do with this like here. So that's what that is. So at many to many, you are saying that many posts can be liked by many users. That is what this relationship is giving us here. And then you notice that the many to many has another annotation at join table here. So many to many has this annotation join table. So what a join table means is, from the name join table, it means joining two tables. Two tables in this case is the post, which is the parent here, and then the user liked by, which is the child entity here. So we are joining two tables, which is the post and the other table, which is also the user. So we are trying to see the relationship between the user that liked a post. So in this case, this means one. Actually, it will create a table on itself because this is a join table. So a join table, what it does is that it creates a new table in the database. So and gives these columns inside that table. So you have join column of post ID, and then you have another join column, the inverse join column of user ID. So to show this relationship between the post and the user in this join table, in this table, and then this join table has a name, so it gives the post likes to this table with the post ID and the user ID as the two columns inside this table. So I will show you how it is here in the database. So here you will see one here, this post likes, that is the join table. That's what it does, the join table. So a join table creates a new table and names it with the name you gave it, and then inside that table you will see that it only has two columns here, which is the post ID and the user ID here. Post ID and the user ID. So this shows the relationship between the user and the post. So immediately a user likes a post, it comes here, it comes to this place, creates a new ID 1, and then it shows the post ID. So it's bringing it's like a foreign key. Remember that a join column takes the foreign key from an entity. So it goes to post ID, takes that post which was liked by, it takes the foreign key, the primary key, which is the ID, and then links it with the user ID that did the liking. So and then it puts the two ID into this column here. So you might have something like post ID 2, user ID 1 liked post ID 2, or user ID 3 liked post ID 1. So that's what the at many to many does. So at many to many, we must have the join table with it, because we are trying to join the post class with the user class here, and then you are trying to use this. This will help you to show the relationship with those two classes, those two entities, using the join column and the join column for the parent entity, and then the other inverse join column for the child entity. So that's what the at many to many does. So let's recap the at many to one uses a at join column to show the foreign key of this user into the post or the parent class there. So you in the post class, you will see a user ID or name having the IDs of this user, and then for the one to many, you will see a mapped by. So the mapped by, we have the same name with your post class here, your post entity. So we are saying here that one post to many comments, and when using the one to many, the comment, the field comment must be in a container or in a collection type field. So this is a collection type field, a list of comments, and also it can also be a set of comments or user, just like in this case too. Then the last one, the at many to many, uses the at join table. So you are trying to show the relationship between the post and the user. So it takes the two primary key as foreign key into this new table here, and creates the table name as post likes, and uses that post ID and user ID as the columns in that table to show that relationship between those that two entities. Okay, so that's what the at many to many does here. Then the last one here is adjoin table. So adjoin table, will avoid this, discuss what adjoin table does. So the adjoin table annotation is a JPA annotation used to specify the details of the join table when mapping a many to many annotation between two entities. So as we have said before, between the post and the user. In this case, is between the students and the course. So many students can have many courses, and this is the relationship that shows the at many to many. So it shows there, and it uses the at join table. It means that it creates a new table with a new table of name, student, course, and then has these two columns within. The student ID, which holds the ID of the student, and the course ID, which holds the ID of the course. So these two columns will be inside this student's course table, to show that relationship between the two entities there. And then you can see here that because of the many being on this side, you must have it in a container form or a list or set form like this. So that's it. I will show you an example of. I will run my project so that you will see an example of I'll run this example here. So the cascade here shows here cascade of type OR. What it means here is that anytime this post is deleted, means that all associated entities with that post will be also deleted as well. So that's what the cascade at OR, cascade type OR is. So anytime that post is deleted, it means that every comment that is associated with that post will also be deleted. So that's what cascade here shows. So let's run this project. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you the relationship between these three different annotations. So there's also one other annotation, but we will not be using it. We will not be talking about it here. So there's the one they call the at one to one. At one to one, I think. Okay, this one here, at one to one. It means that one entity to another entity. So I won't be talking about it here. I'm talking maybe in the next video. I'll be showing you how and where to use this at one to one, and any other annotations that is used with it. So let's maybe be okay. So our server started on port 8080. So this project was configured with Swagger. So I will show you how to use it. So going to, I will say localhost 8080 slash swagger UI. Between the post ID and the user ID. So for me to populate this row, I have to like the post. So if I like the post, you will see how the many to many relationship happens. So let me go back here. So this at many to many. So is when the user likes the post. So it will give you the relationship between the post and the user. So coming to Swagger here, I will just go to, so I've already logged in the user. So I'll just go to post, and then I'll clear this, cancel, and then try it again. So one is the post ID. So if you come here, you see the post ID. You come here, you see that I only have one post, and it has one post ID. So at the after the user likes the post, it will increment to 1 here, and when the user unlike the post, it will decrement back to 0, and then you will see the relationship in the post like. So if I execute this, you can see that you liked post. Then if I go here and refresh, you see that it has increment with 1. And then if I go back and unlike the posts with the endpoint here on the post ID, I'll just click on execute, and you can see that you unliked post. Going back to SQL, if I click on refresh, you see that it goes back to 0. Okay, so let me like the post again so you can see how the post like table works. So let me like the post again. Going back to, let me clear this, cancel. Going back to like, cancel this. So let me like this post again. So we like post. Coming here, you can see that it has incremented by 1 to show like to show that there's 1 like on that post. So going here, you will see that the relationship has been drawn. So user 2, which is the user, has liked this post 1. So that's the relationship, guys, the many to many relationship. So I'll be able to show you the many to many relationship, the one to many, and the many to one. Okay, so thank you guys for this class. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share, and then follow more for other videos. Thank you.